And you're listening to Midlands 103 and it's Talking Tech. And remember, you can stay in contact with the show on Twitter at Talking Tech 103 and by email on talkingtech@midlandsradio.fm. Now, we're joined in studio by our weekly tech reviewer, AIT lecturer Denis McCarthy. Good evening, Denis. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Aisling.
Now, firstly, we should mention our piece last week on digital TV. We had quite a few queries about it. So just to remind listeners that if you have still got questions, that section is available now on our Facebook page. Just want to have a quick look at it, listen back, and you should have all your questions answered there. Now, Denis, back up. You're a lecturer in AIT, and I'm sure one of the first things you talk to your students about is make sure and have everything backed up. But why should we back up?
Look, this is an age-old problem. I suppose we all have parents or grandparents who would have the old photo album at home, and they'd mind it like gold dust. If that gets destroyed, there is no there's no copy of it. So now in the age of digital media, you have your movies, your songs, all your Word documents, Excel, could be your family budget, household budget in Excel. You have to make copies of these. The problem then as well is, look, you've got these stored over many different devices. You can have it on your smartphone, you can have it on your PC. We've talked about tablets. So the information is stored over a whole lot of different places. And
you could have stuff on your work computer as well as your home computer, as well as your phone.
Exactly.
It all gets a little bit complicated.
It gets very complicated. Look, we need to back up because of the simple reason. Look, I tell my students, and I had 3 different groups of first-year students this week, to back up their data because they'll be doing work or major projects and they might have it on a memory key or something like that, and they just lose it. They leave it behind them in the classroom and someone else takes it, and you've lost all your data. So now for us, I suppose we have a lot, as I said, we have a lot of digital media, like our pictures and so on. So we have to back it up. So we just have to make copies of it.
Okay.
So I had a chat today actually with one of our computer services specialists and just looking at a big enterprise and what they would do from the point of view of backing up. And he was saying for AIT, they would actually have 2 backup copies. They'd have the original and 2 more. Right. One is actually stored in the same building and the other is stored in a separate building, just in case the first gets flattened.
Yeah, if there's a fire or anything happens, really, you have a second backup.
You always have a backup. Now, what a lot of people might do is they make backups on their own PC. When you're going to make a backup, and backup is making a copy of whatever piece of work you have, is to make sure you put it on something external, away from the PC, because you're making a backup in case that PC is going to calve on you, basically. It's going to crash, and maybe the hard drive might go. So you're going to have to make an external backup. What you have to figure out is, what should you back up? Like, this is really subjective. Look, I have an external hard drive with about 1 terabyte of movies for my kids and TV shows and so on. I can't really back that up because it's a bit too big and large. So maybe some things that are really precious, like say your pictures that you've taken.
Family photos of people. Even like, I know, okay, practicalities wise, if you're in college, make sure all your college documents are backed up. If you're in business, fair enough. But if something does happen, whatever you think will mean the most, if you lose it, if it is family photographs or I don't know, even if it's the photo of the dog as a puppy that you thought was really cute, whatever it is, you need to prioritise what it is and then go ahead and back up.
Yeah, that's what you need to back up. Just prioritise for yourself. It's going to be different for everyone. Just make sure you get the right ones, and then when you know what you're going to back up, make sure you have enough space to back it up in.
Okay.
Now, what you can do is you can buy some external hard drives. Like I just did a price up on 1 or 2 today. There's an iOmega one that is a USB 3. And why I'm talking about USB 3, because a lot of people will have USB 2 at home on their computer, something like that.
Yes.
Having the USB 3, even though it is backward compatible, it actually makes the data transfer a lot quicker for you.
Okay.
Because if you're putting over a lot of pictures, it takes a long time. If it goes any bit faster, it's better. So for about an iOmega one, Ego, they're actually quite good. They fit in your pocket, no problem. For about 1.5 terabyte, that's 1,500 gigabytes, will be about €200, going down to about €130 for 1 terabyte and about €85 for 500 gigabytes.
And on something like that now, you're going to have, and if it's movies or audios, that takes up a bit more space. And big, large photo documents, they take up a bit more space. But you'll have thousands of photographs.
You'll have thousands there. But if you think about it, look, I have a brand new smartphone. I'm not going to say the make, but I have about 500 pictures already taken of my kids and whatever. I've only printed one out.
Yeah.
And that's because it's so easy to take all this digital stuff at the moment that you're not printing it out, you're keeping it on your mobile phone or whatever. It does build up. You'd be surprised how quickly all this information can build up and can run out of memory. Look, I've got about 3 or 4 terabytes available to myself and I'm running out. So if you're having just small stuff like your documents and your say your project work for a college or school or something like that, maybe a pen drive. Now, pen drives can be bought from 8 gigabit from about €10 up, from 17 euro up from different companies.
And you can get them anywhere from your local shop. Regular newsagent shops carry them now, so it's not that you have to go to a computer store to get them.
Exactly, you don't need to go anywhere from really. They're available everywhere. But make 2 backups. Okay. Now, and to be honest, everybody is the worst in the world when it comes to backing up. They just don't do it. And I'm just as bad. I'm lucky the fact that I have to go from different lecture rooms in the college, which has podiums there with PCs, and I have to put my notes there. So if I ever lose it, I can just go around the college and find a podium and I find my notes. It's okay. So that's kind of for you get these external hard drives, and some of these actually have inbuilt software that actually you can press a button on them, and you've already pre-selected the drive, the actual spaces of memory in your documents, like your pictures, some of the documents that will actually automatically copy them over onto the hard drive for you.
Okay.
The software for you that's already inbuilt into some of these packages.
Okay.
I just did a quick look, and what it's come up as the best review on the net really is this thing called Nova Backup. Right. It's a piece of software, and it's supposed to be easy to use for the beginner and for the advanced user, and it's about $45 to buy. Okay. Over the net for that, and it's supposed to be one of the best there. One of the things to note when you are backing up, make sure you have no viruses on your computer.
Yeah,
because if you're backing up,
sense.
You're backing up the viruses as well. And if you do lose your data and have to restore it, all you're doing is restoring that virus again. So get rid of that.
Now, we're talking here about the physical hard drives, but what if you're working, like yourself, you're working in several different offices, need to access the information from several different places, putting it online and storing it in a cloud. How does that work? Well, the cloud data storage, I think a lot of people are using cloud data storage, they don't even know it. Everybody, look, you're big into the social media, yes, Facebook and so on. Facebook, you're putting your pictures up there. That's actually a cloud storage facility for you. You also have, there's one's Flickr, YouTube for movies and stuff like that, for putting the videos there. Google Docs is another one for putting all your documentation up there. You can actually edit them as well. One we use in academia is called Prezi for doing presentations that can be stored up online. Now, there's all these ones are out there just for doing your different, as I said, Flickr, Facebook and all like these, that you can store your information up there. The advantage of these is the replication. They replicate your data, what you're storing up there, over multiple different sites. So if one site goes down, you're still accessing the rest of them. And you don't lose everything, which is the most important bit. You don't lose everything. Like, for most of the time, all these systems are up and running. Now, there was a kind of a little glitch there back on the 9th of September with Google Docs, where one of their software management products kind of had a little glitch and it shut down a server. Right. Then the rest of the servers couldn't handle the workload, so they shut down as well. But Google found a problem and fixed it within half an hour. Right. But if you wanted to do a presentation in that half an hour, you were in trouble. Okay, so maybe not rely on it 100%, but 99% of the time it's very good. The thing is about it, you can get them anywhere. Look, it's online, so you can go to any part of the world and you can get your documentation, whatever pictures, show your friends somewhere else in the world, you can get them there, no problem. There is a few concerns. I think on overall, 99.9% of the time, it's pretty good. But there's questions there. If you go with a company, and I don't have answers to these, but if you go to a company and you've got your data up there and they shut down, what happens then? What happens to your data? So if say Aisling O'Rourke comes along and I set up my own storage company, I run out of money because, well, it's the recession, and does it die with my company? That's the question. Nobody knows. See, I think what needs to be done here is it needs to not have a proper regulator for it. Yes. So take a look at all like that. So who owns what? Putting the data up there, like on Facebook and stuff like that, who owns the data? Who owns your pictures? Well, I know with Facebook, because I'm into photography myself, I know with Facebook, they do say that once you've uploaded it there, the copyright is Facebook's. And then I know there's problems with newspapers where photographers' works have, say, you've put it up on your own website, it's been passed on to somebody else via Facebook, and suddenly it arrives as an image in a newspaper, and then the companies get in trouble because they've actually copyright infringed a photograph. So it's a dodgy territory in some aspects. It is a bit. Like that's for your kind of ones that are kind of public on your Facebooks and your YouTube and something like that. But you have other actual cloud data storage services which are for corporates and stuff like that. Like there's one I found there was livedrive.com, which will give you 2 terabytes of storage space for about €9.95 a month. Okay. So you're paying per month for this, and you're paying for your storage space there.
There's a lot of free companies as well that give it to you as well, like Live Mesh from Microsoft gives you free 5 gigabit. Dropbox is one that gives you a free storage space as well. And they allow. And one thing about Dropbox is that they actually preserve every revision of your documents if you're storing up there. So if you've got a thesis or something like that, you'll have all the revisions there for you. There's another ones for Box.net. They do give you 1 gigabit free. For 5 gigabit, you get about for 5 gigabits for about €8 a month. And what you can do with this, you can share it with collaborators. They can edit it as well.
So, and of course, the main thing is to make sure that it's actually up on these sites. And just to remember that just if you have it up on one of these sites, you can access it from anywhere. So it has huge benefits. You don't necessarily need to lug the laptop around with you everywhere.
Definitely, no. Like, you don't have to lug it anywhere. You just, once you have an internet connection, you can actually get your information. Look, I'm desperate for it. I'm lugging an external hard drive everywhere I go. But it's up on the internet. You can get it wherever you want once you have an internet connection. One thing you must note when you're doing put up on the internet, if you're putting up large files, think of your broadband access. Because it's got to do with speed again, how fast you can get it up there. If you're putting up, like some of those companies there can give you 2 terabytes. If you're backing up that 2 terabytes every week or whatever like that,
it'll take a long time.
Then it's your cost to your broadband because you're going over your limits and so on. So these things have to be looked at as well. And if you need stuff fast coming back off the internet, your broadband is a limiting factor again. And that is an issue, an ongoing issue in the Midlands with the broadband service. It's not the fastest in the world. So just to bear that in mind. No, because a lot of these services are based in America and stuff like that, who have massive broadband usages. And even in Japan, they've got 100 megabits, no problem. That's kind of standard. Look, I've got Aircom and I'm basically barely getting half a meg where I am way out in the sticks in Roscommon, like so. I know, sure, I'm in Tullamore Town and I get 1.4 and Aircom tell me that that's wonderful. So I would love to have 1.4 meg in my house. It's great. But now with the cloud, also the same has to be said for, say, backing it up in the cloud as it does in a hard drive. If you've got a virus in that document, you need to get rid of it. Look, there is a lot of people when they're buying PCs and all that, they're kind of told, go in and get this extra virus software for €60 subscription. What I'm telling you there, on the internet there is a number of very good, reputable, free virus ones. Some of the most better ones would be AVG antivirus for free. Use it myself. And I use that. And Avast is another one. Right. Just quite good. And these update automatically. And if you keep these on your systems all the time, you will, keep your viruses off your machines. And you don't have any subscription or charges on those particular ones. And they're free. It's great.